Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Travel Mole broadcast. We're delighted this afternoon to have two very successful travel agents, which you would think is an anomaly during a pandemic, but these two have broken the model, and then we're going to talk to them about what they've been doing and how they've been performing. And I'm delighted to have Daniel Brown and Danielle, and Paul Kelby, both been working very hard during the pandemic, and they're going to talk to us now. Danielle, how has the pandemic been for you for business?
When it first hit, I won't lie, I was scared and I was panicking. I'd been in the business for a year. I'd built up a really stable customer base, and everything just seemed to fall apart because people started panicking like me. However, I turned it around on its head within a couple of weeks because people still were inquiring. They were still inquiring for the end of 2020 instead of the summer, because they knew that something would happen. We might be able to go away. So I capitalized on that positivity when I started getting inquiries for the winter. And I thought, actually, this is where I need to be looking. I need to be looking further ahead. So instead of 3 to 6 months, I was looking 6 to 12 months ahead. And that really helped, because then all of my promotions, all of my marketing strategy was based on, let's go away next year. Let's forget about this year and let's go away next year. And you take the freedom of people away, and all they're going to want to do is go away again. That's all they want to do. So it's I was capitalizing on that purpose, people's desire to travel. So, I was very lucky in that respect.
And have you used this period to actually, if you like, enlarge the good, the a good feeling amongst your client base that you're a good person to go to, that you're going to give them good service, even if you have to postpone the holiday because of pandemic, because of COVID, because of testing, Christ knows what else? Has that enabled you to get closer to your clients and actually engender a feeling of loyalty from them?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I sent an email to absolutely everybody that had booked with me or had inquired with me at that point. So on the 23rd of March last year, on 2020, I literally emailed every single person. I spent 3 days talking to people saying, look, these are the options at the moment. So I dealt with everybody that was traveling with the next 3 weeks straight away. But I also told everybody else that I would be in touch in time. So they knew that they could connect with me if they needed to. They knew they could ask me a question. They could get the help and the guidance that they just couldn't find online, because lots of people were, that's it, travel stopped. The world didn't stop spinning. It just paused travel for a little bit. That's all that happened. And then when it restarted in the June for the UK, it became a new way of traveling. So you were still able to travel to certain places. So I then spoke to my customers about that. And I just rolled literally with what was going on. But I did listen to what my customers said. And I think that's a really big thing. If you put positivity back out, you'll get positivity back. So I think I had 2 cancellations in total out of all of my customers. Everyone else rebooked.
Very good.
You know,
We'll
I was
go. We'll get a little bit into how things are right now in a minute. But Paul, have you had a similar experience? Have you used this period to engender good feelings with your clients?
Um, my my story is a little bit different. I started during the pandemic, which some people might think, what are you doing, you nutter? So I kind of don't know any different, but I saw an opportunity 2 years down the line. And so, like I say, I didn't know any different. But yeah, I'm kind of finding my feet in terms of where my niche is at the moment. But yeah, in terms of the pandemic and booking travel, I think it actually made it easier, because it's like when you go to a restaurant and you've got a menu and it's huge, right? You're going to be there for ages thinking, oh, what do I want? What do I want? When I started, there was only a few places that people could go to, so it made my job easier. Instead, if people asked me for recommendations, my list of places that I could, I think the only options were Mykonos, Santorini, the Greek islands, and maybe Dubai at the time. And so it made the job a lot easier, which kind of helped me really find my feet and really start identifying, right, what market do I want to go for, and go after. Do I want to do UK staycations? Not really. It's not of interest to me. Does that mean I take a bit of a hit now, moving forward? Potentially, but I'd rather be known for doing more top end holidays than short little breaks, basically.
Yeah. So you've used this time to really think about what you want to do, now specialising in, if you like, luxury and top end
Yes.
holidays. Danielle, have you had, any outs, and now we're moving towards a situation you would hope that, for example, myself, I've booked some flights to Barbados in March with some of my mates to go and watch cricket. So, booking is happening, and we've paid some money and we've booked a hotel, but we've paid for the airplane. We haven't paid for the hotel yet. So bookings are happening. Have you had that same experience that people are starting to look, thinking, oh yeah, I really want something to look forward to, so I'm going to book?
Absolutely. I mean, Europe 2022 is a big hitter for early in the year. People are already asking about Christmas markets, which is unknown at the moment. But going forwards into spring, February bank holiday next year, sort of half term for skiing holidays, Europe is a big hitter. People want to go. They're not sure about how to do it, but they're looking forwards. They are. I mean, I don't know many people that would phone me and say, I want to go on holiday tomorrow anyway.
No.
When I very first started this business, nobody would have asked me for a holiday tomorrow. They would all be looking for 3 to 6 months. That's my normal market.
So is a typical inquiry would be one of your potential clients phone you up and saying, well, I'm thinking of going to Florida in September, October. Do you think it'll be open? Is that the type of query you get?
Oh, I get, yeah.
And if you do, how do you handle that? Do you say, well, yeah, I think it will be. Do you want to book now? In the knowledge that you could cancel it? Or do you say, well, I don't know, actually?
No, I'm very transparent. I literally say, at the moment, you can't travel and there's a roadmap, but it does mean on figures. And I mean, the pandemic's really good, actually, for customers gaining your trust. It's given you a reason to discuss how travel changes and the problems that can occur. So all of my customers, I mean, Disney Florida, for example, it would normally be a year in advance. It wouldn't be a short stop before they go. However, since the pandemic has hit, actually people are jumping into that bucket list a lot quicker and are actually spending a lot more money. So the person that would normally come to me every year for their summer holiday and then a winter ski holiday are now coming to me and saying, actually, I don't want to go skiing, but we want to go to Lapland and we want to go for the 3-night stay, not a day trip. So people's spending habits are changing, but it's still forward. So you still have to tell them what's going on. So especially with the USA, I'm desperate. I've got family in Florida. I'm desperate to get there, but I haven't booked my flights because I don't know when I can go. So I would never tell a customer, yes, you can go in September. I've actually postponed everybody till 2022, Florida.
So Paul, as far as you're concerned, I mean, this sort of people talk about revenge travel. I've had a very poor 12 months, so I want to actually pay a bit more, and I'm going to go for it. And as we spoke before we started recording, people are perhaps looking for different things now. They're looking for, not necessarily just lying by the side of the pool. Although today, and it being 6 degrees centigrade here in Sussex, I wouldn't mind a bit of that. But people's habits have changed. Have you noticed that in your inquiries, and does that play into your hands as someone that wants to go at that top end? Because people, if you're going to spend a lot of money, you tend to say, well, I want to spend a lot of money, but, I need to plan it. I need to, maybe this, I want to be guaranteed it. So maybe March next year, or maybe towards the end of this year.
Yeah. My market, my audience are probably the opposite to Danielle's. My people are more the, right, I've booked flights already. Can you find me a hotel? Which benefits me because I don't have to go through all of that rigmarole, basically, and a lot of the providers that I'm booking with offer free cancellation, so there's kind of no risk. So almost people are booking now because it's almost like waiting for the gun to go off. As soon as that gun goes off, the prices are going to shoot up. So people are ready for that gun already, and kind of secured their spot. If they have to cancel it because it's not going ahead, they cancel it. So yeah, I hope that, I don't know if that actually answers your question at all, but
what I was trying to think about that is if you're going to the top end, you're trying to sell holidays at a top end. People normally, if you're talking about a big hotel, and a very expensive hotel, expensive hotels tend not to be fully inclusive. You're paying for service, yes, you're paying for a very nice room and hot and cold running waiters and Christ knows what else, but what you're really paying for is exclusivity.
Yeah.
And if people have had a crap 12 months, they may be willing to do that rather than go and stay at something slightly lower down the scale, and that may play into your hands.
Yeah, I'd say that hasn't really affected my audience. I think they would have been the kind of 5-star and above anyway. So it's probably in
you're mixing heady circles, young man.
Yeah. I'm fortunate in that respect. I've well networked over the years, but it's maybe the difference of them going away once or twice over a 6-month period that they'll go 3 times over a 6-month period.
Right, I get you. Yeah. Cool. Danielle, how do you see things going forward? I mean, the model that you've got now of keeping in close contact, being the friendly face, being the helpful face, is that something you intend to carry on? You mentioned you do social media and you do a bit of local, some marketing and stuff. Is that the model you're going to stick with, or do you see a change once this huge tsunami of demand comes? Once the Secretary of State for Transport says, "Yep, good to go, Florida, here we come."
Personally, I will stick with what I know because it's worked for me through the pandemic. And those customers, I rely solely on referrals and word of mouth. So if I treat them right and help them get their holidays, they then tell their friends. I mean, I do a lot of group bookings. Group bookings are really coming back out now for me, as in family group. So I've had only one hen inquiry for a group. The others are all family. So I've got a big cruise booking coming up for Hawaii, a 10-day cruise from Vancouver around the Hawaiian Islands. And that's for a group of 10 to celebrate a 60th birthday. But now they want to also add on a hotel in Vancouver and an afterstay on the main island of Hawaii. So that booking has transferred from just an inquiry into actually a great big holiday, which will be fantastic. And they will all hopefully come back to me for their next holiday. So not just the person that wanted to book, but all of those 10 people will now book their holidays with me in future. Sort of thing. That's how I intend to grow my business, just naturally through word of mouth. Because I think if you get too many customers, as Paul said, staycations are really big. But if you start going down the staycation route, you can lose the focus on your important customers that want to spend the money. And that's hard because you don't want to turn away customers, but equally you have to create your own niche. And I think I've found it with families, but sort of older families, so not young families. I've got older families. And I think that's what my niche is. But it's a range. I'm not lucky enough to have all 5-star, unlike Paul's clientele. I'm working on it, but people want to go away and experience stuff and live their life with their family now. They've had enough of being and they're willing to spend the money. It's emerging lots of different places. I mean, Japan is really emerging. It really is coming through the market so quickly, and it's exciting to see that.
Well, they'll have a big advert for Japan during the summer when the Olympics are on, but nobody going there. So that'll be interesting. And Japan's spending a lot of money on marketing at the moment in terms of their tourism product. Paul, do you ever get the case where someone says, "Hello, mate, I've got 10 grand. I want to go on holiday. What do you recommend?"
Not really. We get like, right, I either want to go here, or here. So, and that's the kind of, I suppose, how the travel industry has developed over the last 20 years. It's very different from, you going into a shop, sitting down with a travel agent and saying, right, I've got these 2 weeks off. I want to be this close to the beach. I want to have this, this, and this. What do you recommend? A lot of the time now, people can click on TripAdvisor. They've got friends that have been to great places, and normally it's, I don't know, they follow a certain somebody on Instagram, and they've posted from a hotel, and they're like, right, I want to stay there. So it's probably made our job a lot easier. But yeah, you do get the odd person that if they don't know the exact hotel they want to go to, they'll say, look, I want to be in this area. What can you find? What's the best deal that you can find me, basically?
Good. Well, Danielle, Paul, thank you very much for your time. I wish you the very best of luck when all these barriers do come down, and keep up the good work, I would say. I mean, it's all been very interesting. So thank you for your time.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much.
Cheers.